Hey guys, so as you can see by the title of this video, I thought I would just give you everything in terms of what we're using to book meetings for ourselves, for our clients. So by the end of this video, you're not only going to have the exact messages, the exact scripts that we're using to book meetings for ourselves, with the goal of scaling our business to 100, 200K per month, but also the exact messages and the exact frameworks for booking meetings for our marketing agency clients, right? All of our clients are marketing agencies, and using these methods that I'm going to talk about now, the goal is to help them book more meetings every single month, but also, obviously booking meetings is cool, but signing clients, scaling up the agency, and honestly just having a great time in acquiring clients. So before we go into it, if you don't know who I am, my name's Ethan Welby. I'm the co-founder of Agency Growth Partner. Like I was saying before, we build out done-for-you acquisition systems for marketing agencies and only, established six-figure marketing agencies, ideally seven figures. And we really just help them scale up very predictably by building out the sales systems in terms of booking the meetings, taking the sales calls, signing the clients, and then, scaling up the agency. So before I get into it, what I want to emphasize is that I have all the messages here, okay? I have all the messages here, but this is the most important part. So before we get into that, what I made over here is a little spreadsheet that just started tracking the number of bookings that we received, or for our own business specifically, just for us, over the past, month, I think. So this is when we restarted doing outbound. In the past, we weren't doing it because we're at, maximum client capacity. We didn't want to, mess things up. So we just paused everything. So we restarted outbound, and all we're doing is we have this YouTube. That's not really outbound, but we have the YouTube. We have Instagram. This is the one we just started, and we have email. So ever since we restarted outbound, right, these are the bookings that we've been receiving. So on day one, we received 2 bookings, right? On day 2, we received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bookings. Day 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bookings. And it just keeps going on. And the reason I'm showing you this is just to emphasize the power of doing this, because all we're using for this is an email account and a couple of Instagram accounts, and that's it, right? So we haven't even scaled up the system for ourselves to the highest degree. So even with a little bit of the system, you can see very good results. So let's actually get into how we're doing it. So the first thing that you need to understand is that perception is more important than messaging. The way you look is more important than what you say, because if you sent on LinkedIn, for example, an outbound message to someone, let's say I message Charles over here, and I said, I'll help you increase your revenue by $1 million per month in 30 days, no money down, pay on results. But I had no profile picture and no banner and nothing here and nothing here and nothing here, and I just look like a bot. He wouldn't reply, even though it's an amazing offer, right? It's an amazing offer. But because I don't look like I can actually deliver on it, because there's no proof, because there's no evidence, he's not going to trust me. So that is just to emphasize that the way you look is more important than what you say. So the key thing is that we want to, before doing any sort of outbound, is control the perception of how you appear online, because that's going to dictate the type of response that you get. So what I listed here is how to actually optimize this for yourself. So the first thing is personalization, being seen as a human, right? So let me actually show you what we're doing on Instagram right now. So we just made this company page over here, and we're going to be adding all the case studies that we get. This is just a couple that we saw. So like Zach, signing a client for 4K. This is his testimonial of him talking about how he went from around 100K to 200K. This is JB signing a client for 3.5 per month. Another one for 6.3 in the first month. Closing clients. A lot of things like this. Signing clients, case studies, things like this. But the key thing is that for personalization, you want to be seen as a human. You don't want to be reaching out from a company page. That's one of the worst things that you can do, because people want to speak to people. People don't want to speak to a company. It feels like you're speaking to like a support page. So that is why we have this page, but we do outreach from personal pages. So this is my personal Instagram account. We're not using mine specifically right now. We're using some other people's, but this is just to give an example. So I would reach out from this page. And when I do reach out to people, I would ideally put this in my bio over here. So I would put that in there. And then whenever someone sees my page, they see it's a message from a real person, but they also see the company. And then the company shows all the case studies. And that goes on to the next point, value in case studies. So what you can do, if you have case studies, you want to put it up there so that people can see it. The same with LinkedIn, the same with Twitter, the same with everything. Put up case studies, make it personal, and have it there. And if you don't have case studies, provide value. And if you don't, ideally do both. So that's just sharing like ways to actually improve your whatever, whoever you're helping. So like this video, for example. And then fourth is just demonstrating the work, right? So demonstrating anything you've done in the past, just like case studies, a very similar point. So this needs to be optimized before you do anything else, because if you don't do this, it's gonna, nothing else is gonna work. So anyways, let's get into it. So the first message over here is, we call it the direct offer, okay? And this works especially well on LinkedIn and on email and on very transactional platforms. And I really want to emphasize is that some people that watch these videos, I show them, or not even the people that watch the videos, some people just that I speak to and they ask for advice on this outbound. And when they see the messages that I use, they're like, is this it? Like, why is it so simple? Where's everything else? And then I tell them, like, the simpler the message, the better it will do. The most important thing is the presentation, or sorry, the perception, but also the offer. So what I'm optimizing for here is how I look. So having a clean page, not having like pictures of me drunk when I'm 18 at some like party or something. I don't put anything there. The pictures are professional, nothing crazy. It's just me, with some work, me at some places, things like that. But it's nothing immature. It's nothing that's gonna put someone off. I'm not like talking about politics on there. So the things I'm optimizing for is my perception and my offer. Okay? So the key point for the direct message is that it's super straight to the point, but also super appealing. So this will be something like, hey name, would you be open to adding an extra 50 to 100K per month within 6 to 9 months? Everyone would be like, yeah, unless they're making like hundreds of millions, and they would be like, I don't really care about that. That's like tiny. But for everyone else, for our ICP, for the people that we speak to, which are usually around 100K per month, like in their current revenue, this would be appealing. They're pretty much doubling the business. So we need to make sure the offer is appealing. So for any other system or any other niche, the thing would be the same. So if you're helping, I don't know, let's say you're doing appointment setting, you could ask, would you be open to having extra 30 appointments every single month on a pay and results basis? That's a great offer, right? And the key, I mean, it's not the key, but a key thing, a thing that I want to emphasize is that I say, would you be open to? I don't say, would you love to? Would you absolutely enjoy? Then they'd be like, no, I don't really, it's not that interesting. But if you can make, this is just a small thing, don't really focus on this too much, but if you can make the ask as small as possible, then it's more likely that someone's going to say yes. So if you say, would you be open to? They'd be like, yeah, I'd be open to it. But if you say, would you have the best time of your life if we did this for you? They'd be like, no, not the best time of my life. So that's why I like to use the would you be open to. Some people do the would you be opposed to, but that's one, I feel like that one's a bit corny. But the principle is the same here, right? Have a good offer, have a simple offer, and put it here. So we had some ones in e-commerce. Now e-commerce is a very difficult one because it's so saturated, so I wouldn't actually recommend it for e-com, but you can test it. But it would be like, would you be open to adding an extra 30,000 per month to your e-com brand within this time frame? And then if you have any guarantees, you can add it here too. So would you be open to doing this? This is within 6 to 9 months on a pay on results basis, right? So I'll just put guarantee here, or unique selling point. Because I could say, would you be open to adding an extra 50 to 100K within 6 to 9 months on a done for you basis? So everything's completely done for you, as opposed to you having to do everything yourself. A lot of people offer courses offer done with you consulting, but that's more work. So by us saying it's completely done for you, it's a lot more appealing. So if you have an offer that, is very simple to explain, and it should be very simple to explain, then it will do very well with this, assuming this is good and your offer is good, right? That's it. So we typically use these on email and on LinkedIn. I found LinkedIn to be the best for B2B, but if you're doing any sort of personal thing, honestly, this will work anyway, right? The key thing about the direct offer is that it's very transactional. I think that's the best word. It's very transactional in the fact that you can get interested people very quick, right? It doesn't take a lot of work because it's like, do you want this, yes or no? They're like, yes, okay. But you'll also get a lot of no's. So it separates the people who are interested from the people who aren't interested very quickly. But you could potentially be missing out on some interested people just because it's so direct. But if I'm speaking from my own experience, I like the direct offer more than anything because I don't like wasting time or just spending a lot of time talking like on the phone. But besides that, the next one is the indirect offer. And this works best on social platforms where people aren't necessarily getting pitched. So I wouldn't say LinkedIn per se. I would say something like Twitter. Okay, people on Twitter, you're going to get pitched regardless. But it's a social platform. So people are actually on there because they want to speak to people, right? I guess that's the same case with all platforms. But these just has, the highest proclivity towards that. So this is a conversation, right? This isn't the entire message. So the way with the indirect message is to first scope out the person's understanding or the person's situation. And then by doing that, you transition it to the pitch. So instead of saying, hey, we'll help you do this right away, it's, hey, are you currently running an agency? So this is what we would say right now. Hey, are you currently running an agency? A great one, if you are doing any sort of outreach to service providers, is, hey, are you able to take on new clients right now? And the thing is, we need to understand, because of personalization, if I reach out to, let's say, a marketing agency, and I reach out from my page, and I say, are you able to take on new clients right now? They would think that I could be a potential client. They could think that I want to potentially be working with them. So they're going to have a very high likelihood of replying because they think it's new business. So that's going to allow you to get in the door, ask about the situation, right? And then you can transition it to any other place that you want to go. So you start with the intro. Then you want to go into probing questions. So you ask, can you take on more clients right now? They say, yes, we can. Then you say, great, like how's business going? How many clients are you working with right now? So it's just using indirect questions to get an understanding of the business, because if we ask how many clients you're working with right now, it gives us a great indication of how well the business is doing. So because we personally only work with established marketing agencies, right, we want to figure out if they're qualified before we speak to them. So asking, how many clients do you have? And if, let's say they have 2, then we know they're just starting out. If they have 100, then it's like, that's great. And then we want to either go into probing or asking permission. So you start with the probing. This is to qualify. The more you need to qualify, the more you need to probe. Then, if you think that they can actually benefit from what you do, you ask permission to share, more information. So this would be a probing question. Are you looking to take on more clients? They'll be like, yeah, of course. But our asking permission question would be like, great. We know a system that can help you get more clients. Do you mind if I share some more information? So I'm not going to type all that. More info, right? Oh, okay, so I have it here as well, but it'll be the exact same. So are you looking to take on more clients? How are you finding getting more clients? right? So this is just figuring out if they're actually struggling with this. If they're having a great time, an easy time getting clients, then they probably don't need your help. But if they're like, yeah, business has been slow lately ever since, 2020, things just haven't been the same and I've been struggling with this. And you're like, cool, I've got a great method that can help you do this. Mind if I share some more information? Then they're like, yeah. Then you just say a little bit about what you do. So we call it a mini pitch. It'll just be like, so an example of a mini pitch would be like, yeah, so we help X to get X in X time frame guarantee. So this would just be like your offer. And then you just talk about the mechanisms for doing that. So for ours, it would be great. So we help, established marketing agencies increase rev by this much in this time frame. We do this by building out acquisition systems that allows them to predictably book meetings, with high-paying qualified prospects that can afford your services, that want to keep working with you, and that allows you to raise your prices, things like that. So we do a lot of things, but you just want to summarize it. So, if I were to talk about all the things that we do, it wouldn't just be booking the meetings. It would be like, yeah, so we help you to build out an offer that allows you to stand out from all the other marketing agencies, allows you to stand out firstly. This allows you to raise your prices, get more attention in your actual outreach, in your actual sales, have a great time doing that. Then we build out the acquisition system that allows you to book meetings predictably every single day, every single week, so that you can, speak to qualified prospects every single day. And then we build out the sales system that allows you to predictably close clients in a systematic fashion, so that you can scale up the agency, right? So that's what we would say, but you want to keep this simple. So it would be, so let's start with offer, just to keep it simple. So offer, then you want to go into mechanism, right? So this would be building I would just say building system to book meetings with qualified prospects and a system to systematically convert these prospects into high-paying clients. You can see my copywriting live, but this is pretty much something that I'd say. And ideally, you'd want to put some numbers in here. These are just like copywriting tips, but instead of saying like you just want to, you're just going to book meetings, if you can say you'll book 20 meetings, to book 20 meetings a month with qualified prospects and systematically convert 45% of these into high-paying clients, that's a lot more appealing. So if you're ever speaking about your offer, if you're ever speaking about what you do, and this applies in sales and marketing everywhere, be as specific as you can. If you can't, obviously understandable, but if you can, definitely do that, because this is just a lot better than a vague one. So that is the indirect one. Now, this is typically used on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. These are usually the best platforms for this. Obviously, there's other ones. I think TikTok as well. I have not, I do not, and I don't think I will ever have that app on my phone. So I don't know about TikTok, but you could do it there too. You could do it anywhere. But the reason why I wouldn't recommend for something like email is because it takes so long, right? Email isn't like a quick text message conversation. It's very, you need it, like it's not going to be a quick thing. It's going to take days or weeks to have this type of conversation on email. But on Instagram, you can have it in 5 minutes, right? So we have people on our team who are having conversations live with the prospect. So, are you currently running an agency? They reply in like a minute. Then we reply instantly. And it just goes back and forth quick. And then within like 7 minutes, the meeting's booked, and then we talk to them the next day. Okay, and the final one is, let me find the right one, direct variations. So this is actually a combination of the two, but the key point is that it's the same message, but it's in a different medium. So for example, you could send this message on Instagram, but if you sent this message as a voice note on Instagram, it's going to be completely different. If you sent this message as a video on Instagram, it'll be completely different, because it breaks the pattern. It's a pattern interrupt. So it kind of forces them to have to listen to it. And the fact that you're so different just puts you almost in a league of your own, because no one else is doing this. So it immediately gets their attention. It immediately shows that you put effort in, and it immediately puts you in, like I said, a league of your own. So this is exactly how I started on LinkedIn. I would send voice notes as my outreach message for every single one, and it worked so well. I think we had like a 15% appointment booking rate on LinkedIn, right? But understand that you need these things first. But using that method, I would constantly get messages from people saying like, this is great, I get pitched all the time, this is the best message I've received. And I mean that. People say this all the time when you send voice notes. So I would definitely recommend doing it. And you don't have to do some complicated thing. You can just use the direct offer, right? So if you were doing it on LinkedIn, for example, you would just say, hey Naim, hope you're doing great. Glad we could connect. I just wanted to send this quick voice note to ask if you'd be open to adding an extra 50 to 100K per month, usually within around 6 to 9 months. If so, just let me know, and I'm happy to send over some more information on how we've done it for other clients like yours and how we can do it for you as well. And it's super casual, super calm. It doesn't have to be like some Jordan Belfort pitch. Keep it casual. So this can also be applied, the variations, it can also be applied on other platforms. So same with LinkedIn, same with Twitter. Voice notes work, videos work. Another one is like using looms. A loom like this. A loom over email explaining what you do. Now, this one's gotten pretty bad because people started automating it. So every loom that someone sends over seems like they think it's fake at this point because so many people do it. But what you could do is, like I said, this is kind of like a variable one, so you can combine it with the others. The key understanding is that by using the same platform but a different medium, like voice notes or video, you're going to get a different outcome because it's so different, because you're so unique in the way you do it. So again, this can be combined with the direct offer. So you could say, hey Naim, we help agencies to increase their revenue by 50 to 100K. I'd love to put together a quick video explaining how we do it. Would you mind if I send that over? Then they say yes, you've gotten their agreement, and then you send over the loom. So again, you can combine it with the two. The fact you send a loom shows a lot of effort, and then you can use them in combination. So I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I've been told I need to be, or it would help to be more YouTuber-y, so leave a like and subscribe as well. And beyond anything, try these out. Try these out. Honestly, I'd recommend pick a platform. Pick a platform. Anyone is fine. Optimize your profile using the things I mentioned here. Optimize your profile. Add any sort of case studies. Make it personal. Add any sort of value, any sort of videos. Add it on there. Make sure it's optimized. And start sending outbound. Right? And if you're doing it, honestly, anyway. Right? So if you're doing it on LinkedIn, just try and send out as many as you can every single day. Have a good offer, send it out, do it consistently, and it's going to go well. I promise you that. All right, let me know how it goes, and I will talk to you soon.